Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Day Off with Ethan Harrer. Ethan's Day Off with Ethan Harrer. This is episode 2. We have a duo episode today. Main reason why I was going to interview these two individually, but with the way that things go, the motion of the ocean, I have both of them here at the same time. Their schedules aligned, the stars aligned, and one of them is rolling right now, like his life depends on it. I first want to start off by doing a sponsor. My mom, she sent in a message. She's actually suing me for slander because the first episode I said something that was completely incorrect. She didn't say it whatsoever. So, Mom, if you're listening to this, game on. All right, end of the sponsored segment. So, I'll start with the first guest here today. Who are you?
Coincidentally, my name is also Ethan. Here at work, where we both work at, they call me Tex, and they usually call you Ohio. But yeah, my name is also Ethan. So yeah, there's not much else besides that. So
okay, cool. And then the other individual we got here, who are you?
What's going on? It's Nick, aka Pimpin'. I just be chilling.
Your nickname is Pimpin'?
Pimpin'. Yes,
Pimpin'.
Sir.
Not like Scottie Pippen, like Pimpin'.
Yeah, the pimp is in.
Like the verb.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be pimpin'?
It's a persona. It's a lifestyle.
Is an alter ego?
Sure, if you will.
Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. As you're rolling up, you got the grinder right now. Completely screwing it up.
I'm straight.
I don't know about that. What I just saw. Well, let me start it off by saying I got gifts for the both of you for this episode. Tex, if you want to check the fridge right behind you, in the bottom right corner of the freezer.
In the freezer.
Yes. And then I have a couple things in this bag as well.
Holy shit, you're fucking lying to me.
I have
This?
Yeah.
Oh my god, where did you find it?
So, for the people that are off screen or not listening or seeing the video version of this, there's no video version. Tex just got matcha green tea ice cream that is sold over at the Breeze Inn usually, but they've been sold out. So I had to go to the nether regions of the valley in order to get this one. And it survived its journey. And then I also got some cream soda here and some green tea fruit snacks from Arizona for my boy Nick.
Very appreciative.
Absolutely. This matcha ice cream was very hard to find. We found it once, and we both tried it, and then the one place next to us, like 5 minutes away, has not sold it since.
It has it. And not only the Breeze Inn, it was Foodland too. Our local grocery store didn't have it at all. And I don't know, I checked up and down the aisles and absolutely nothing. And I am very appreciatory of this. This is definitely a win in my book. A big
Absolutely.
W. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I also did get Nick has a wonderful girlfriend. I also got her fruit snacks as well. They're the Arizona green tea fruit snacks.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So I got that. But Nick, I just felt like you were in Arizona. I know you told me about cream soda, right?
Yes.
You love that stuff.
Yes, sir.
So I got you some of that as well. But yeah, just to lighten the mood a little bit.
Dude, you also Downs Coke like no tomorrow.
Yeah,
Coca-Cola, not
Coca-Cola. Okay. All right. Getting it started right.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, as we have the pizza baking for Tex and rolling for Nick, I'm going to start getting into some of the questions. First off, Tex, I'm going to start with you. What brought you here?
To Juneau?
To Juneau, yeah.
what I tell people whenever, because that's honestly one of the most asked questions I get whenever I'm working at Register, is what brought you up here? What brought you up here? And the short answer I give people is I was 19 with no responsibilities. It was like I didn't have anything holding me back. Why not do it? You know, go to the farthest capital city in America away from me. At the current time, it was just why not? And then after getting up here, I believe it was like kind of like a will thing. Like it was like I needed to come here. It was like something brought me here or something like that, and I needed to maybe get away from where I was, because I had been born and raised, you know, down in Texas. So it was like I just needed to get out, do something new, and experience a little bit more in my life. So I think that was like the main driving force. It was I had the ability and I had the chance and I had the opportunity, so why not take it?
Yeah.
So I
what,
think that was mine.
What was what's your hometown again?
Rosenberg, Texas. It was like that's where we both come from, both me and Nick.
Yeah.
Hometown, baby.
Hometown. So they've been what is lifelong friends an exaggeration?
I would consider it that. Yeah. I mean, known Nick for too long.
Fucking lip claws.
No, I've seen that. Look at you. Got some on. But apparently. I don't know, man. Like, how long have we known each other, really?
Like, at least, like, 9 years?
Something like that. Like, we're both, 20 now?
Yeah.
So, like, at least, like, met at, 11-ish, 11, 12-ish. So, yeah, probably, like, 9 years. 9, almost going on 10 now.
9, almost going on 10.
Yeah. So, it's like I've known him most of my life. So, yeah.
Okay. So, Rosenberg, right?
Yeah, Rosenberg, Texas.
So,
right outside of Houston.
Okay.
On the west-hand side.
So, one of the questions I got here I want to ask you, Nick, is it relates to this. Because you both have talked about your hometown compared to here. And I wanted to kind of dive into it a little bit more. So, Nick, a tourist comes through your hometown and wants to know your thoughts on the area. What do you say to that person?
Oh, man. That's hard. I would tell them that it's a small town. Everyone knows everyone. There's not much to do, but if you really look, there are things. It just depends on how you look at it and what you, like, find entertaining or interesting. Because there's definitely shit out there, but, I mean...
What would be your go-tos? Like you had what is it?
In antique stores.
Oh, antique stores.
We had a lot of antique stores in downtown Rosenberg. It was pretty cool. We used to go there like all the time.
They used to have like Salvation Armies and shit.
No, like genuine like family-owned antique stores where people like had like sections in the store that were theirs, and they just brought all their old shit and sold it. So it was like a giant flea market almost.
What were the biggest hauls, I guess you could say? Like, what are some of the coolest things that you found that have come through there?
I found some pretty badass rolling trays, I can't lie. Besides rolling trays, just like little knickknacks and like movies, just small things, comic books and shit.
Okay. So, what would some things be, Tex? Because you've talked about how it's drastically different here compared to back at home. What are some things that fly here that would not fly in your hometown?
I would say like definitely. Well, I mean, Texas is the biggest black market state when it comes to like pot, weed.
You both looked at each other, as if you had the same answer.
Here wouldn't slop.
Basically. Like, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things obviously that wouldn't slide, I guess, down south. That would be like more up here, and I don't know, man. Like, definitely like I would say like the open smoking. And the like open public drinking and shit, like that definitely wouldn't fly.
Huge, no.
Yeah, there's a good number of things, but also I wouldn't say it's too like prejudiced or like too enclosed or anything like that.
At home.
Yeah, I wouldn't say back in like Rosenberg or anything like that. That's like too oppressed or anything like that. Like I mean, people are allowed to be whoever they want to be. I mean, like literally the motto of Houston is be someone. It's be someone, be whoever you want to be. And it's like I wouldn't say it's anything like prejudice. Like I wouldn't say there's any like restrictions or anything like you can't do that or anything like that. That goes on up here. I would just say like the only thing is like the open smoking and drinking is like that wouldn't fly like down south. You know, you'd get that shit shut down pretty quick. It's like most of it's behind closed doors or private events or like small things. So that's
Nick,
what I would say.
Nick, you have anything to add?
I don't know. Texas ain't soft. A lot of people here are soft.
How would you say? Why would you say that?
I don't know. Just the way some people are. Just seeing, going around Juneau, I'm like, these people couldn't survive out there. Not at all.
No, like mentally.
Physically, mentally, financially, you'd die out there. You wouldn't make it. You'd go home.
So this is like a playground in comparison to what went on out there.
Yeah, I definitely say it's a lot easier living up here. Yeah. Like, definitely people up here are like a whole lot nicer. I would say kinder than back home. I mean, like, people in Texas are very nice. You know, like, there's definitely people in Texas who are very nice and definitely, like, respect and kindness that goes around. But there's definitely, like, especially like where we're from and like and a whole bunch of other bullshit like around the areas we're from. It's like there's definitely like a lot more like I would say violence back home than there was up here. Like there's
nothing.
There's like
on.
There's literally like 15 cops maybe here in Juneau.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, there's literally like 30 plus for just our hometown.
Yeah,
and that's like between just like one station, like maybe splitting off into a couple others.
Yeah, I haven't tried those ones yet. I tried the other fruit ones, but
they're amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Oh shit! Really wake everybody up at home.
Yeah, really waking everybody up.
Mom, can you step away from me?
You're all good. Nick, what would you do if you had a time machine?
Go back to younger me that was skating and tell him to stretch more and not to fucking thug that shit out when he broke his bones and shit and go to the hospital. 'Cause I'm feeling it now. Your boy's broken.
How many times did you go to the hospital?
None. Unless I was like, never. Like, I really don't go. There's no point. And I really don't trust them.
For those at home, you had done a lot of skateboarding in your time?
About 11 years.
11 years? And you've done a fair share of tricks and fails and all that sort of stuff you told me about.
Yes, sir.
About all the bones you've broken and a lot of the injuries that you've sustained. It's kind of surreal to me that you operate in a physical environment where we sell t-shirts.
It's very hard, but I get it done. I got a job to do sometimes. And at the end of the day, it's like I can't stop. It may hurt. I might be physically dying sometimes, but if I don't keep moving, it's only going to get worse.
So you're rolling right now. You got some stuff. That's from the home state?
Yes, sir. This is Texas bud. This is grape pie. Like, yeah. Fuck, I don't know. It's grape something.
Grape something?
Hold on, I'll look it up. I know it was grape something.
So for you, using that has helped a lot in terms of operating.
Yes.
Considering the you said 11 years?
Yeah.
Of sustained injuries that you had.
Yes,
it's
sir.
kind of kept you afloat. Had you not used this, where would you be?
I probably had to be in the hospital more. doing more surgeries because, like, I have a lot of surgeries I need to get done.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to get them done because it's not going to help me. It's just going to help temporarily, and in the long run, it's going to hurt more. And I don't feel like getting metal rods and shit in me. It's going to immobilize me pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to do that.
What would you consider to be, because you said skateboarding, and you had a couple interests when you were back at home, but like what would your biggest passion or expertise be? Like if someone had to come up to you and like ask you about a subject matter.
It would be weed.
It would be?
Yeah, 100%. Like that is deeply rooted in the culture of Houston and everything around Texas. Everyone grows. Mm-hmm. Everyone has it. Everyone smokes. Everyone's been doing it for the last 50 years or so, maybe longer. And it's honestly just one of the heart and soul places of where cannabis industry is, and the whole community as a whole. Like just like Cali, we're about as high as them, if not higher.
Well, that from the surface, Tex, it that sounds a little bit confusing or contradicting. You said there was a big black market that occurs there, but then like compared to Juneau, like we have a bunch of people that are drunk, openly drunk, that will do whatever they want, you know. But you said that it's not as tolerated to have that sort of environment. If the environment of Juneau went to Houston, for example, then it would be not a polar opposite, but it would just be out of the element. So how does that operate, like on two conflicting truths?
I would say it's the openness of it, because back home it's a lot more private. It's a lot more respected, I would say. It's like there's a lot of people down south and like where we're from who treat it as like a connoisseur thing, where they that's their profession. That's what they professionalize in, is just this one thing. And up here, I don't see that at all whenever I'm up here. Whenever it comes to like weed and shit. I mean, like, you know, there's a couple up here. Like, I'm not saying there's none. But like the scale of it, like back south, it's just like, it's a lot more respected, I would say. And that's what I mean by the openness of it. It's like people back south, like they treat it with like not a sense that they're going to just pass it around everybody, and they're going to have it more private into themselves, and maybe be a little bit more stuck up or cocky about what they're smoking. And you see that a lot, like down south, but it's to a respectable sense, and it's like
it's almost like password protected.
Yeah, because also it's illegal in our state. You gotta also realize that, like up here, it's legal. You know, I mean, like people can do whatever, you know, when shit's illegal. But since we're doing all that, like down south where it's illegal, it's very like, I don't know. And that's why I would say more in a private sense. Like it's very more respected. So. Because you can get in a lot more trouble for it, I mean, than you could up here.
That's very true.
Quote, trouble, I mean, fucking, I don't know, you can get away with having an ounce down south without having anything, like, happen. So.
Yeah, I hear a bunch of stuff that happens in just Texas. Like, when I was a kid, I used to watch this show called Most Shocking, and most of the stuff that would happen wouldn't even be in Florida. It would just be in, like, Austin, Texas, or Houston, Texas, or stuff like that. So for me to like not live in that culture in Texas, but to see all of these things happening, like it's kind of a not a freak show, but just like where anything is, you can do anything that in other places there wouldn't be. I don't know. I guess I got to be there in order to like figure out the nuance.
So what I would say about that is like, I don't know, a lot of people in Texas, whenever they're there, or whenever they're like born and raised especially, I guess there's a lot more pride in being from there, like being Texan, you know, being like
patriotism.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. I mean, because like if you think of state pride, who is the most like prideful state. Like most of the time, when people think of that, they're gonna think of Texas. Like,
Texas, Florida, more of the southern.
Probably like one of the Alabama,
like
not
this,
Alabama or the Carolinas or some bullshit.
Yeah, like the southern states that are like a beast of their own. Like the Texas and Florida are like southern states, but they're in their own category.
But what I would say about Texas, though, is what makes it different. Is there's so much history with just Texas alone, and like Texas history is so out there that it is taught in other states because of how like crazy it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was literally like Napoleon literally sold the Louisiana Purchase to us, and Texas was part of that. And then it was also brought up through Spaniard shit and a whole bunch of other bullshit. Like we had to fight for all of that land, and it's like, you know, there's like the whole, I don't want to be corny or anything, but like the whole like don't mess with Texas like stuff, and then like there's also like the come and get it and everything like that. There's a lot of people who are very prideful. Yeah, come and take it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
There's like all this stuff that's happening on the Texas border too, like with all the people from Texas that are wanting to make a statement against people that are crossing the border. Like that's stuff that only happens in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's people, but it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say like I'm siding with anything, but it's like there's a lot of people who are prideful about their state and they just don't want like a whole bunch of stuff going on or like a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. I'm not gonna touch on that topic because I don't really know a whole ton about it, but you know, it's like what I would say is just people in Texas are more prideful about about themselves, about the things that they do. Like I'm not saying everybody is, but I just see it a lot more down south than I do with like up here or something.
Yeah.
Or even in like most northern states or anything like that. And I'm not saying it's like a bad thing or anything, but I just don't really see it anywhere else. Like how many fucking people do you see have the state of Texas tattooed onto them?
Yeah. No.
And how many people? Okay, somebody from like New Hampshire, like how, like are you gonna see somebody with a New Hampshire tattoo on you?
No.
Exactly. New York, like the state, maybe no.
No.
Yeah.
They're just
maybe
gonna
Florida.
They're just gonna pay their taxes and show how much they spend as their flex.
But it's like Texas, dude. I see that all the time. Tons of people.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because I'm from there, you know. But I don't know. I also go to other states and I'm like, I don't see them with that shit. So I don't know. Maybe it's the pride, man.
Maybe it is the pride. Maybe it is. Yeah. You traveled across the country with your bike. And I wanted to mention this. Yeah, last season. So this was 5 days, right? Where you went from Seattle, then you did like a bell curve kind of going into California.
No, I didn't go on the coast.
You didn't go, you wanted to, you're thinking about going on the coast though this year.
I was thinking about it, but I don't know, because I'm going through like Las Cruces, New Mexico, and then like maybe I would go on the coast and then all the way up. Yeah. But I don't know. I'd have to see what I'm feeling like whenever I'm going. But last season I took like basically kind of like a catty corner kind of curve through a bunch of different states going all the way to Texas.
Where'd you stay during that like 5 nights?
I camped 3 of the nights and I was in a motel for 2 of the nights.
Okay. So those 2, like the camping and the motels, so that was just rural stuff? Yeah. That was just like, hey, I'm done riding for the night, I'm going to go and...
I would clear as many miles as I could in a day. From the time I would wake up when the sun would come up in whatever time zone I was in, from the time the sun would come up, and then till like I would get as close as I could before dark. Like if I was camping, I would get as close as I could before dark, but having like an hour or 2 of sunlight beforehand, so I could like set up camp and shit, and not fucking die during the night. And then the motel nights are basically like just go straight shot far as I can until I hit a motel or a hotel that's like I can stay there for the night, you know.
Right. Are there any memories? Because you went through like parts of America that people usually don't, or they don't see the sights of rural stuff.
Dude, yeah, I saw like a bunch of really cool stuff. Some of my like highlight moments that I would say or like, you know, highlights was when I was going over Mount Rainier. I went up Mount Rainier and got all the way to the top, and basically within like a 10-mile span it went from being completely dense forests that was like all, you know, really heavy greenery and everything like that, and then I passed the like the Rainier National Park or whatever. It was one of the national park like big signs, I guess you would call it, like the big wood ones that make up the name. And it had like steam coming off of it whenever I was riding my bike and I rode underneath it to go up the road, and I was like, damn, dude, that just looked really beautiful. And from that span, 10 miles up, I was in complete snow at that point, and I was at the top, and it was gorgeous. And then coming down, it was super beautiful. Getting towards the bottom, like the trees were so thick and dense, I had to have my lights on for it, and it was some badass shit. And then going in like Utah, I saw some of the salt lakes, or some of like the, I don't know what you would call them, like salt plains. Like just super flat like places with salt and everything like that. Like I just saw them at a distance. Those are really crazy. And like same thing with canyons. I saw a bunch of stuff that I would have never saw back home.
Right.
And it was stuff that I got the privilege to see because I didn't have my no responsibilities, nothing holding me down or anything like that. Like I could just do it.
That's a very liberating feeling.
Yeah.
Like the idea of seasonal work, because we have an audience here too that are listening. We're doing this in the middle of the Douglas House. This is across the I want to say across the ocean, but it's we take a bridge over to work in downtown, and this is the property that a lot of us stay at. I think it's 13 people, and we're all people from around the country that are doing seasonal work, trying to figure out who we are, trying to make a lot of memories, trying to kind of do the path less taken in terms of the corporate world. So that's why, like, one of the things that I did is starting this, because no matter what I do, no matter where I go, it's like you have these alternative lifestyles that are just awesome to hear. Like I had one with A-Train last week. You don't meet people like that working at Walmart. You know, it's like you don't. You know, so I mean, I look forward to talking more on matters like this, like people that have literally driven cross country because they could.
Yeah. Like
those are just the interesting people. You go on speed dating and you talk to people like that, it's like, oh, you walked across the whole state. You drove across the country just because you could. Like, it sounds a little serial killer, but it also is interesting. So
at the end of it, you'll be the one with the cool story to tell.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's all that matters.
That is what matters. You know, generally, just like making more money than you spend. I like to say the three things are like making more money than you spend, not playing video games in your mom's basement, and learning a couple of things along the way. Like, no matter what you do, like, you're still walking forward. You're still moving forward instead of staying in one place and doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who end up dwelling on a lot of their downfalls, and they don't use those downfalls as like stepping stones to, hey, why did this happen? Or, you know, they don't ask themselves questions about it. They're just like, ooh, pity me, you know. And it's like, you know, there's sometimes where people need that, where they need to go through that, where they need to have that moment of relapse, or like where they need to be sad for a while, you know. And then they can pull themselves out of that spot. But I see it a lot in a lot of people, though, that just sit in their own pity. Yeah. And they're like, oh, like, let's have a pity party for me. And to me, it's like, I don't find that respectable, you know.
Did you see that a lot last year?
I wouldn't say I saw it, like, I wouldn't say, like, I've seen it with people, like, here or anything like that. And I definitely have seen it. I'm not going to say I didn't, you know, see it, but it's like, I definitely have seen it with some people. And, yeah, there's some people who they just don't learn, you know?
Yeah.
They just don't choose to learn the lesson, I guess would be the better way.
Like, to overcome the hurdle, they just kind of, like, stay in the same ditch.
Yeah.
And they just don't, like, face that realization that things aren't going to work out the way they are.
Yeah, but there's some people also that won't push themselves to achieve that. And that's okay. I mean, there's some people that want to stay where they're at, and that's all right. But I think pushing yourself beyond, like, your comfort zone, or putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, is sometimes the best way to learn something. And not saying, like, you need to put yourself in danger or anything like that, but at least do something different. Do something that's gonna change your life. Do something that's going to be your cool story to tell. Like going 4,500 miles away from home to the farthest capital city away from anywhere or anyone you've ever known.
Absolutely.
And it's like, yeah, man. Can't say it's comfortable, but you eventually get comfortable with it, and you adapt. That's one of the best things about people. People always adapt to their situations. So,
would you relate to that, Nick?
I'd say so.
I'd say so.
Yes, sir. I'm just playing my game right now.
No, you're good.
no comment.
I gave him fruit snacks. He's playing his game, so I mean, I can't complain. I can't complain about that. It's all good.
I'm also faded off some dabs.
It's like I'm a teacher in class, and I'm just like, so what do you think about that passage that John just read, Nick? And you're just like, it was good. Exquisite. It was a little overrated, but it's exquisite. What book are we reading again? What page are we on? Yeah. No, I mean, you told me about just kind of like needing that change when you were coming through here.
Yeah.
You know, and to some degree, I do relate with it. I'm not as Lebowski about it, I suppose, and considering it a vacation, but I can still respect like the mentality of it. How would you put it? Like, what were the motivations behind coming here?
Like I said, just to get a chance to get away, to have an opportunity to move in with my girl, just to kind of, like I said, vacation. I'm just here for fun. Like, if you want me to be honest, just because I could. I didn't care to come here or not. I was just like, fuck it. I'd go do it for a little bit. I'll go back home. It'd still be the way it was.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, we're all in different spots, but I think other people could relate here too. It's like, hey, I could do it, so why not? You know? You get a little bit of experience coming through, so I get that. Yeah. Tex is currently mending to his pizza right now. Trying to mend to his pizza right now. So as he's struggling with that, I'm going to ask you this, and then I'm also going to ask Tex. In 24 hours, you will become the President of the United States. What will you say to the public?
Wake up.
Wake up?
It's all a dream. Wake up.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing's real.
Nothing's real?
Nothing's real.
Oh my god, what topic did you just get?
What do you mean by nothing is real?
Doesn't matter.
Like those fruit snacks you're eating are not real?
Yeah, these are definitely fake as fuck, but they're tasty. No. I don't know. I don't believe none of this is real.
You believe that we're in a Matrix?
For sure. Like, if you want to say that.
You remember the first time you watched The Matrix?
Yeah.
Where were you and what were you thinking?
I was like maybe 8 or 12, watching it with my dad, and I was just like, wow. I didn't really watch it till I was like maybe like 18. Then I was like, damn, it's pretty cool. But by then I was already super into mushrooms, and it like really fucked with my head because I was kind of breaking that shit down already before even watching the movie, and it just kind of like all made sense.
You already figured everything out?
Essentially.
But like the Matrix was the visual, like the enhancement, or like the proof that your ideas had validity?
Yeah, it gave me more validation that not only I thought that, and that someone else in the world put that out there knowing that it's real. So it's like, I don't know. I believe there's nothing new under the sun, so everything is just relearned. And yeah, seeing that it was like validated for me, I was like, okay, let me not take this shit so seriously, because it's not that serious. It's just a game.
Do you see a lot of people that would take life seriously back at home?
Yeah, but then again, you have your fair share of people that don't do shit. Like, they seriously have nothing going for them. They're just sitting at home.
But what's the difference between what you're doing here and what other people are doing at home? Like the dormant state of I guess, sleep.
They're
in a
staying
sense.
stagnant. I got constant motion.
Okay.
I'm always moving forward.
You're always moving. So, in a sense, like what I just said about moving forward, like never just staying in one place, like we just have different ways of visualizing that progression
Yes, sir.
and like perception of reality, but we come to the same conclusion. Okay. If Tex just came back with this pizza, it looks delicious. Is that cheese and broccoli?
No, it's like what is it? Garlic chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
You can have a slice.
That'll be exquisite.
We
looks very
can have
delicious.
that after the podcast.
Yeah, of course. I'm asking this kind of as a closer here, but
Yes.
Nick said he wanted people to wake up
Yeah, I heard this response.
at the concept of the Matrix in existence.
That is
But I did ask, in 24 hours, you will be the president. What will you say to what will you say in your preparation to the public?
Like in the opener, like when I'm like, yo, what up, people?
You have 24 hours before like you do the national announcement that you usually see presidents do. So you're getting ready, you're inaugurated, and they put you in front of the Oval Office desk. What are you going to write to the public?
That I don't know. I think I would want to get deep with it. You know, like I would want to be like, you know, people need to, appreciate each other more, and they need to, stop with a lot of like inner conflict stuff with themselves and also like other people around them. They're like, I hate. I think I would stop the two-party system immediately because it's just like a rival thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that would probably be like the first thing I would do. It would just be like, yo, getting rid of the two-party system, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then get used to it, like each other.
Yeah, it was like, you're gonna have to learn to get along.
What would you replace it with?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. You know, I think that's what the big brains come up with, and like a lot of people. But I think there's a lot of like, obviously, like different money and politics involved with that. You know, but I would have it to where a lot less people were conflicting with each other, because I feel like that tears a lot of people apart and it puts people into all these little groups, and it separates people's mindsets, and people end up looking at each other like with the intent of like, oh, you don't have the same mindset as me, or you don't have the same values as me, you're the bad guy.
Yeah, like the extremist.
Yeah, instead of being open-minded or being able to accept the fact that not everybody's going to agree with you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I'd spout out some hippie bullshit that Ronald Reagan would hate. So,
The Ronald Reagan would hate?
yeah.
What do you mean by that? Because he was a classic
I think
conservative.
I meant Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was a lot more, that's stupid, you know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, cool. I mean, I gotta agree with that. I mean, you got wake up, and then would he be your vice president?
Nick?
Yeah.
He'd be like my treasurer or something like that.
You would let him deal with the finances?
Oh hell yeah! We're going up to the moon, baby. You're getting out of debt.
I would.
I think Secretary of Interior would be your position, because then you deal with like national parks and stuff like that. I feel like you'd be the least. Don't take this the wrong way, but I think you'd be the best park ranger, and I think you would not be a threat to the United States.
Smokey the Bear would hate him though.
He would hate you. You would probably appeal Smokey the Bear.
He might have to change his ways and to accept one.
Oh my goodness!
I'll see how he's feeling after he smokes with me.
So you're gonna try to change his mind?
Smokey the Bear in your dream circle.
Mm-hmm.
What would his name be instead of Smokey the Bear?
No, it would be Smokey the Bear.
It would be Smokey the Bear,
Yeah.
but it would just be a different connotation.
No, it would just be Smokey.
It would just be Smokey.
Yeah, at that point. If you got Smokey the Bear to like puff up with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be Smokey at that point.
Smokey Bear and
Or he'd be Bear. What up, Bear?
Bear.
Toki.
Toki. Oh, Toki the Bear.
Toki and Yogi.
Oh man.
They do collabs or something like that. Oh my goodness.
I think Toki is the best one.
Tex, what do you got to say to the world?
What do I gotta say to the world?
What's the one piece of advice you give people?
We're all born with free will, and you're the only person that has control of your life.
Hmm.
And that is all.
Nick, what do you got to give advice to people in the world?
I need y'all to take mushrooms and fall into your mind and start understanding shit. Y'all are very unaware of a lot.
Y'all came from the same place, but you contrast in so many cool ways. It's insane.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a crowd here tonight, and we have Tex and Nick in front of me today. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hope you seeing your boys.